Boys, we don't have much time. We must speed run today's stream because we don't have much goddamn time. We must go quick. We must speed run the CALEE free stream. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. We're gonna watch a couple videos and then I have to go. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
This episode of Are You Scared is brought to you by The Quarry. Available on Sony PlayStation,
Which
Xbox consoles, and
it's a
PC.
game that I would love to play. I've heard that this game is pretty poggies.
Head to quarrygame.com to buy now.
This video contains content that some might find disturbing.
Viewer discretion advised. Ooh. Ooh.
The isolation of hiking the countryside can be an invigorating and wonderful experience, a way to get away from everyone or everything. But while isolation can be rewarding, what if you run into something that preys on it?
The Quarry.
Tonight, our narrator and her friends find themselves trekking into the heart of Hackett Woods, where, with no map and no signal, they are not alone. I'm Ryan Vergara, and this is Are You Scared?
Bong.
A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it till the end of the night.
Till the end of the night, baby. Let's go.
A hike will be fun, Devin said. You remember fun, right? I wanted to punch him when he said that. I should have punched him. I should have kicked him and punched him and told him to never talk to me again. Because this isn't fun. This might be hell. Still, Devin was giddy as he drove us and his two buddies further and further into the sticks. How often do
So
we
is
have
this
zero
this
cell
must be a
service anymore?
prequel
This is fun.
to
I told him if he kept
The
bringing
Quarry?
up fun, we'd see how fun it was being a guy who had zero sexual service anymore.
Damn.
What? Sexual service?
That's right. This is a couple.
Oh, I see. You like a hike?
Oh.
It depends. Like a real hike, yeah, but like Runyon Canyon, when you just see people taking Instagram
Ooh.
pictures and like walking their dog.
bad.
Or something.
Bandana.
hikes suck.
Not great.
They're
Not
no
all
good.
of them. They're
Dude, I
bad.
should
There's
start
some
running a
good ones.
bandana.
No, they're all bad. They're dusty. They're dry. There's dog turds everywhere. There's people blasting, they got the little USB speakers.
Oh yeah, the Bluetooths. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see guys walking around with those.
I mean, I appreciate Bruno Mars. I don't want to hear him when I'm out in the wilderness. I want to hear little birds and crows.
well, I'm on a hike. I don't really like music. I like listening to God's Ox.
All right, well, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, great. He stopped talking, but kept smiling.
Oh shit, boys, we
Even when
gotta
I
chug.
named him,
Chug as
he was
we're
in a good
watching.
mood.
Chug, everybody. Woo!
I thought how lucky I was to be with someone who reminded me why I love him even when I'm prickly. Can I still say fun? Snickered Jason from the back seat. I rolled my eyes so hard I'm surprised my nose didn't start bleeding. Jason's the annoying one, the fourth member of our
cheers.
little hiking expedition. Cooper was the other annoying one. They met Devin on Reddit talking about Boner Coin or whatever the latest crypto scam was. that
Boner
wasn't like the
Coin?
others
Sign
until it
me
ended
up.
Just like the others.
Oh boy, we're in trouble.
It looks like they're all just they love hiking. They're on one of those like subreddits that's like very hyper specific.
They met
Yeah,
on Reddit.
I got a few of those.
And you look like a guy who has a few.
I
of
just
those.
got on the tornado subreddit. You know about my new tornado.
For a second
phase.
there, I thought you were talking about NATO subreddit, like you're just a big fan of.
No, I'm
the-
talking about
the
twisters.
treaty.
I'm talking about God's ropes. You know what I'm talking about?
God's
What do you
ropes.
talk about on tornado subreddit?
Just tornadoes.
You're chiming in on these like regularly.
I'm chiming, yeah. And that and the popcorn subreddit.
At least with this one, Devin got some real life friends in exchange for his lost $5
Popcorn
grand.
subreddit.
Holy hell, did you see that? Cooper spun around, staring out the back window at the damp road behind us. Devin glanced into the rear view, while Jason and I turned in our seats. Behind us was nothing but empty road and looming trees. I don't see anything, muttered Jason. Cooper turned back around, shaking his head. There was an animal. I think it was a bear. Are there bears around here? His question
I'd
was for
assume.
Jason, who apparently grew up not too far from Hackett Woods and was serving as our de facto trail master. I think so, maybe? Not the most confident of answers, but that's never stopped any crypto
I
bro
mean,
I've ever met.
you're in the woods.
I love all the crypto digs.
He really doesn't like crypto.
This, I gotta say, now you've seen some horror films, and I have too.
I have, yes.
We've seen them. Sounds like all these people are gonna die. This sounds like the classic sort of, hey, here's the gang.
This has the cadence of classic pre-murder banter. We get an
Yeah.
idea of who the people are. One of them likes crypto. One of them hates bears. Me too.
Yeah.
One of them's the girlfriend that's kind of stuck in the situation.
No.
Yeah.
There probably is a burnout in here somewhere.
Oh, big time.
You know, and all of them are going to die a horrible death, and a killer's going to
that's
wear their
the
spine
prequel.
as a belt.
Yeah.
Easy.
Cooper sounds like a name that would die first.
Yeah, because I can imagine someone going, "Oh, Cooper!"
Yeah. They shouldn't bother us, though. I've definitely never seen any on this hike. And
I
when
wonder
was
if
the
that
last time you did this
motivates
hike?
naming a
Maybe he
character.
could hear the skepticism
Like,
in my voice.
This guy's gonna die
15
first,
years
so let's have him a
ago-ish,
good
I don't
name
remember.
that's
It's
like
kind
good
of
to
a brutal
yell,
hike,
good
but
to
it's worth
scream.
it. When we get to the
I like to
top,
think
the
so.
trees go all the way to the horizon. You can watch the wind travel across the tops. It feels like the forest is breathing. Actually, hearing that sentence now, I realize that the hiking subreddit is probably just as insufferable as a crypto subreddit.
It's always people being like, yeah, I guess my morning view isn't too bad. And it's a video of someone
know.
opening their tent door and looking out at Yellowstone.
Just
or something.
pictures of like the same kind of woodsy horizon going, oh, today's office. You know?
Guess I'll camp here for the night. How'd I do, Reddit?
As much as I wanted to dislike these clowns in the back, what Jason described did sound amazing, maybe even fun. Stop the car, stop the car, Jason suddenly shouted from the back. Devin slammed on the brakes. All of our backpacks slid forward in the back. And we came
Shit.
to a stop in the middle of the road. That was the trailhead. Pull over anywhere. We looked around. There wasn't anywhere to pull off, not even a shoulder. You're sure? Where do people park? Devin
Or to
asked.
pull off, so we decided
just
to
pull
pull
off the
off,
road.
you know what I'm saying?
Devin shot me an uneasy glance, but I shrugged. These were his buddies. This was his fun. Devin pulled a graceless U-turn and found a clearing behind a road sign saying the next town was 27 miles away. We hopped out of the car and stretched our legs. The forest air was crisp, and everything had a fresh hanging dampness to it. Where's this trailhead? Cooper asked, stepping out to the middle of the road and slowly turning in a circle. All I could see were trees, tall, dark, forbidding. And in the air, faint, was the smell of burning wood. Are we near a cabin? I asked. I doubt it, said Jason, tossing his bag over his shoulder. No one lives out here. Jason strode out next to Cooper in the road, then scanned the woods. Let's see, I just saw it there. I don't know what he saw. To me, it looked like a random opening in the trees, but Jason started confidently marching across the road and into the forest with Cooper following.
It just occurred to me, I don't know, how tight are these bros? Are these tight bros?
Well, this is like one of those things where like you meet people IRL for the first time. Like you've only known them as online folks. Wait, you're suggesting that one of them could be crazy.
It's concerning.
Yeah, I guess
I'm not meeting someone on the internet and someone says,
From,
hey,
"Let's
we
go to
just
the
met on
woods."
the internet. Would you like to go to the woods?
And
Yeah.
also, like, we start saying there's no signs for the trailhead, and it's like, it's right through here.
Yeah.
That's it right there, and you look, and it just looks like trees, and you're like, what,
Yep.
is this, what's right over there, your killing station? Ready for some FUN, Devin asked. Lead the way, I replied. For an hour, we trekked through Hackett Woods without even stopping for water. We didn't need it. The woods themselves were invigorating.
Yeah, dude, this
Jason was
this
right.
game had like
The
a
way wasn't
a
easy. It
podcast
seemed like we were
that
barely
was
on a
in
path at
universe
all,
for the game.
ducking under branches
So I
and squeezing
wonder
through small
if
openings,
this
but we
has
never
anything to
felt
do
lost.
with that.
It felt like the woods were excited to welcome us in.
Like if this
Like
story
we had
is
a slight
mentioned.
wind to our back, like we were being inhaled into the heart of the woods.
These do not sound like experienced hikers.
I prefer a trail.
Yeah. You ever get any poison oak or anything? You get any of that?
Like, I wonder-
You ever gotten any of that? It's itchy.
I wonder if
don't
these
think you stay
characters
away.
are gonna show up in the
How'd you-
game's like
Leads
lore
to three,
somewhere.
maybe.
You know, you pick up a
Wham.
couple.
I was staring up at the canopy
Couple
when
notes.
Devin stopped, causing me to slam into his backpack. I peered around Devin, then Cooper, up at Jason at the front of our line. He'd stopped
Like, oh man,
dead
we
in his
had such a
tracks,
nice
muttering
fuck
something
sesh
I
last
couldn't
night.
hear. Cooper turned
Me,
and
Devin,
looked at
and
Devin
my
and I,
friends.
his face a sickly green.
My Reddit friends.
Someone else go second, he said as he worked his way back to the back. With Cooper behind me, I could see why he was sick. What are we about to see here?
Here's what I would think either like a rotting animal corpse or a piece of human
Or sort of a little Blair Witch bundle, where it's a bunch of sticks and then what's in it? A tongue?
I don't think that would make my face go sickly green.
What would make your face turn
Guessing
green?
Probably
rotting
like a
deer.
decapitated head or something. That seems a little hardcore for the beginning of the story.
I'm
It's probably
guessing
like a finger.
eviscerated
Oh, you
deer.
know what would be really crazy? Ear, like nailed to a tree. Like just the ear, just like, just right under the tree.
That would
And
be
then
sick.
other ear on the other side, and a nose in the middle, and two little lips.
Oh, like a Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
In a clearing was the bloody carcass of, well, we couldn't tell. Whatever it was, it had been absolutely torn apart.
Nailed it.
Bones were broken and scattered.
I said
as if a
eviscerated.
bomb had
Let's
gone
go.
off. Blood had pooled on the ground.
I called
but
it.
Also splattered up the trunks
I called
of
it.
trees. My eyes followed one line of gore, and my breath caught in my throat. Dangling from a branch was
Easy.
a 3-foot-long section of intestine.
Easy.
That's a lot. Well, I guess 3 feet isn't that long.
I mean, this also does sound like the work of a bear, who, as we know, are godless killing machines.
I don't think they tear you apart that much.
I think they do.
I think they get their bites in and then they move
Well, you
on.
think they're putting on a little napkin like this and a fork and knife and cutting you up all
They
nice
go
and neat?
for the throat.
That sounds like throat material.
Well, it sounds like the whale that they blew up with dynamite. That sounds like that thing was obliterated.
Well, let's see what did this. Guess we can confirm there are bears. Devin shook his head. At least it's not fresh, Cooper added. I understood what he meant. Whatever had done this was probably long gone, but I could have done without the mat of black flies swarming over the remains, with some getting dangerously close to landing in my hair.
Ew.
Let's keep moving, Jason said, trying
Yeah,
to
dude, you
tiptoe
never want to
around
get
the
those
board.
flies
We're
on you
halfway
because they got a
there.
lot of
Halfway or a third, maybe.
dead animal
By the
on
way,
you.
let's not
Can be
keep
dangerous.
moving. Let's turn around and go back to the car.
I'd probably turn around at that point. Yeah.
Who sees remains that look like that and intestines that are hanging off a tree like a Christmas ornament and
Yeah.
decides better move forward?
Yeah.
Once we were past the carcass,
good,
we
maybe
tried
this
to
isn't a
rediscover
safe
our
place to
carefree
be.
attitude, but it was gone. Jason was still leading, with Devin following, me next, and Cooper pulling up the rear.
Cooper's done for. Cooper in the rear. Goodbye, Cooper.
Yeah, you want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Middle's good.
Actually, that's not true. You want to be in the rear. If you're at the front of the line and you see the bear in front of you, you have to turn around and run, but now there's a bunch of idiots behind you, and you have to kind of like, juke around them. Whereas if you're in the rear, clear paths to run.
Yeah, but also
Unless you're being stalked.
you get snatched.
Yeah.
People don't even notice.
Yep.
I think they would.
I'm thinking beyond bears here. I'm thinking ghouls.
Yep.
If I'm in the rear, I'm also banking that the enemy will be coming from the front. If the enemy came from the back, then but
done
I
for.
guess like you want to take that gamble because
I'm firmly in the middle. It's a Shane sandwich, baby.
Oh, yeah.
strangely, the smell of smoke never left. No matter the direction
Fully
of
agree
the
with Chad on
wind,
that one.
no matter our elevation, the subtle acrid odor was always hanging in the background, as if it were part of the trees themselves. Maybe it was the smell playing tricks on my brain, but I could have sworn I heard crackling, like we were next to a log fire, not out in Hackett Woods. Hey guys? Cooper's whisper took us aback. We were in the middle of nowhere. He could have screamed at the top of his lungs and no one would have heard him. What? Jason shouted back, teasing Cooper. Cooper looked around nervously, then picked up with his whisper. I think there's someone else on the trail. What did he say? Jason wasn't being funny. He actually couldn't hear. Someone's coming up behind us, Devin said. Well, we've made good progress. Let's get some water and let them pass. I'm pretty cavalier right now, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because it sounds like they're not on a very marked trail.
No.
They're sort of making their own way in the woods.
I think
concerning.
carcass, strike one.
Yeah.
Strike one.
Bad trail, strike two. I feel like at this point I'm on high alarm. I'm not thinking, let's let these people pass. I'm probably readying the machete in my pocket.
I
Getting
feel
ready.
like if everyone got their
Classic.
knives out and just like held them out, and that's how you let them pass. You say, "Go on."
Is that how you let people
Get
pass?
down.
Every time you do a hike?
Yeah. What's the matter?
Get.
Kid.
We moved off the trail, if you wanted to call it that. Deer path would be closer, and sipped our water, waiting. But no one came. There was no one behind us. I swear I heard someone behind us, claimed Cooper. Walking behind us. Jason snickered. Yeah, I assumed walking, thanks. Cooper paused, then drank some more water. Well, it kind of sounded like they were crawling. Crawling? Like on all fours? Like it might have been a bear? After seeing that mutilated carcass, I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. Cooper shook his head. No, it wasn't that big. It sounded clumsy. Maybe a baby deer? I kept looking over my shoulder, but there was nothing, except sometimes I thought I caught a glimpse. Cooper lowered
Interesting.
his voice back to a whisper. I think it's hiding from us.
I like that.
Smeagol?
Yeah.
They catch a Smeagol out in the wild?
Oh, wild.
Smeagol out
That'd be nuts.
That would delight me if I
Smeagol
just
makes
heard,
an
like, a little
appearance.
whispered, precious. I don't like something crawling, by the way.
No, it's unnerving.
Yeah, because I don't imagine there's a baby out there.
No.
That would be freaky, though. Can you imagine just
A
seeing
real fast baby.
No, just seeing a baby crawling around in the middle of the woods?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because it's like, how did that baby survive?
That
Especially
would
if the
be
baby's
wild to
big.
see.
Yeah, were you like a big baby? I was
I think
a
I was
pretty
big baby.
pretty big baby, too.
You big baby?
I was a big baby.
Yeah.
Still a big baby. That's when I saw her. Behind Cooper, 20 feet back in the forest, a pale, emaciated woman
Oh,
suddenly
fuck.
darted between two trees.
Don't like it. That's the worst thing it could be, honestly,
Yeah.
is an old witch
A
lady.
pale, emaciated woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Mainly because if they're emaciated.
Top,
oh, they're moving so
one of the
fast.
top
If I
5
saw that
worst
lady in
things
the
to see in
forest,
the
I'd
woods.
poop myself until I die.
That's right. Shane would foam his diapers.
Until I
baby.
die.
Yep.
I blinked and shifted, waiting for her to move again. But she didn't. She was hiding behind the second tree.
Oof.
I think I see her, I said as I crept towards the tree. Hello? I called out. I felt the hair on my arms stand on end. A trickle ran down my neck, as if an unseen pair of fingers were walking along my shirt collar. I noticed that the smell of smoke had gotten stronger, but I no longer heard any crackling. Instead, barely louder than the breeze, as if she was only an inch from my ear, I heard a woman's voice whisper, "Not again." The words made me spin. I looked back at the guys who were all staring at me in return. Looking at their eyes, I saw Jason and Devin were confused, but Cooper looked terrified. I turned back to the tree and let out another, hello? Nothing.
See, this is when they all need to team up. Get their knives out. Everyone should have honestly brought 2 pocket knives. Because I'm thinking, if you
Circular.
have 1 pocket knife, you know, you're like, hey, stay away from me. If you got 2 pocket knives, you just go like this.
Yep.
Towards the
true.
lady.
Yeah, you just-
All 4 or 5 of you charging at her, going like this.
Yeah.
Or you could do circles.
I guess
That's
the
actually not a
woman
bad
has
idea.
not threatened them in any way. It could be someone who's scared of them.
I disagree.
I mean, her only crime is
Just
being
flank her.
emaciated and creepy and smelling like campfire.
She's crawling through the forest and hiding behind trees while she stares at them.
Yeah.
I
As
feel like hike
they
law,
that is pretty scary seeing like
that's against probably common
like
decency
you're
out there
clearly
in the
seeing this
woods.
person
And
hide
do
from
that,
you.
You're likely to
you
get
know?
cut.
This is stupid, I muttered, trying to convince myself I meant it. With a confident step, I closed the distance and looked behind the tree, coming face to face with nothing. There's no one here, I yelled
Oh,
to the guys
shit.
and walked back. I guess I'm seeing things. Jason and Devin nodded. Cooper didn't. All right, well, now we know there isn't a bear following us. I've got to piss. I'll be right back. Jason took a couple steps into the woods when suddenly, from behind us, a rustling. Don't just like take like the first sign of maybe there's something not wrong and then be like, let's break horror movie rule number 1 and break off from the group.
Yeah.
What you need is a buddy, a pee pal.
I would never let you go pee in the woods unless I was with you.
Same. You know what we would do? We would go out there and just sort of lock our arms back to back while we peed. We could spin while we do it.
There, Devin pointed not the way we came, but off to his side. I see her. Hey! Devin started charging into the woods. Dev, wait! I marched after him. Wait for me! Cooper chased after. I saw her go right behind this. Devin dove behind a tree, but there was nothing. What was that? Devin suddenly asked me. I shrugged. I didn't say anything.
They're like leading him
didn't
into
whisper?
the woods.
You heard her whisper too? Muttered Cooper. Apparently, we'd all heard it. Dev, I'm not having FUN, I confessed. Let's have Jason take us back. We walked back to the path, but there was no sign of Jason. We called out to him over and over for a half hour.
To say,
No response. We were never more than 10 yards away from where he'd gone to pee, but he was suddenly nowhere within earshot. Making matters worse, we
He's
suddenly
gone.
could not figure out the direction where we'd come from. We were lost in Hackett's Woods. I don't feel
Whether
bad
he's
for
dead or
Jason
he's in
because
on
he
it.
made the mistake of going to pee by himself after they just saw a bony lady running around the woods.
Well, maybe he really had to pee. Honestly, if you have to pee that bad and there's a bone woman out there, just pee by your friends.
That's right.
Turn
Yeah.
your back to them. Say, you know, vibe with this.
We were lost in Hackett's Woods.
Eat some
Let's just
asparagus.
get back
Might be
to
a
the
little
road," I
stinky
said.
here. I
"We can call for
apologize,
help
you know.
from there." With Cooper leading, we started heading in the direction he was, quote, pretty sure he could hear traffic in. I pulled out my phone just in case I suddenly had service, but no luck. 0 bars. For an hour we marched, trying to find some clue that we were headed in the right
Me
direction.
trying to rap.
What's
0
that?
bars.
Cooper suddenly turned around to face
Bam.
us and pointed back behind himself. There on the ground was a hard white object. At first I thought it was an old-timey telephone receiver, until I saw the teeth. It was a jawbone. Must be from a fox or something, Devin reasoned. A fox? I repeated skeptically. What else could it be? It's too small to be a bear. A deer, maybe? Maybe. How would I know what a deer's jaw looked like? Maybe deer have jawbones that look suspiciously like a human's. We'd been in the woods for hours now, and the sun wasn't going to be up for much longer. The 3 of us must have had the same unspoken fear. What happens if we're still out here when it's dark?
You think these dum-dums can't recognize a human jawbone, or do you think they're like...
Do you think you could
that's
recognize a
yeah,
jawbone?
for sure. I mean, certainly different than a fox or a deer.
Yeah.
A deer jawbone.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never seen it, so.
You've never seen a skeleton?
I've seen
dude,
a human
living-
skeleton, but I like the jawbone
living in Montana-
specifically. Like, it could be just like a part of it.
You've
I guess
seen
they did
you
say-
see your
Yeah,
fair share
I
of
guess it would be pretty easy
skulls
to identify
on
a human
Yeah.
jawbone. Guys,
walls of
Cooper,
places
now
you
in the
go
back
to,
of our
you know,
line, sounded quiet and afraid.
of different animals.
When's the last time you noticed a bird?
You have an idea.
Devin stopped, and I pulled out the last of my water. We all held our breaths and listened.
We all
Cooper
held
was
our
right.
breasts.
In an area of the forest that should have been
I'm
teeming with
listening.
birdsong, there was nothing, not even a chirp. In its place was a sound that made my skin crawl. It sounded like a woman yelling, wailing, but miles away. You know what's scary about the woods?
Tell me. There's a lot of scary
Oh
things
no,
about
but this
the
is
woods.
one of the scariest parts of the woods.
All right.
When you hear loud noises, particularly like, let's say, a scream, you have no idea what direction it's coming
Yep.
from.
Oh, sure, the acoustics of
Because the
the
acoustics,
forest, yes.
there's no directionality to any of the noise.
Yeah.
So it's not even helpful to hear, like, say, help, because all it does is make you now scared of why that
Yeah.
person needs help,
Yep.
because you have no idea where they're coming from,
I really can't think of anything scarier than hearing a scream in the woods.
especially if it's continuous.
Yeah.
The scream never let up. It was constantly renewed, like someone gasping while being tortured, screaming either for help or death.
Yikes.
The scream that sounded miles away suddenly sounded like it was moving closer,
Whoa.
like it was down the block, then across a street, then next door.
I'm
No,
just Jenny
no,
from the
Cooper took
block.
off running. Cooper, Devin yelled and gave chase. I had no option but to follow. I felt my heartbeat in my throat as we cut through the trees, branches seemingly reaching for my eyes to blind me, logs appearing out of nowhere to trip me. Still, I fought through, making sure to keep Devin in my vision.
I like that,
If I
logs
lost him,
appearing out of nowhere
suddenly,
to trip me.
he stopped, frozen and ice white. I looked around, but there was no sign of Cooper. Then I looked down at what halted Devin in his tracks. Slumped against a tree
Jason with
was
his jaw
Jason,
ripped off.
staring up at us with no lower jaw.
Jason!
Oh, shoot. Looks like he peed
God
his last pee.
damn.
Hope it was worth it.
No lower jaw.
Slumped against a tree was Jason, staring up at us with no lower jaw, the front of his shirt drenched in blood that had poured out from
That's
the bottom
wild.
of his face. We have to get out of here, Devin managed.
Yeah, you probably should.
I think we should maybe go.
That's the first thing
I
he
think we
said
should
when
probably
he sees his
get out of
new
here.
pal with no jaw. We gotta get out of here, guys. I think the party's over.
Vibes are off. We
looked
gotta get
around
out.
the woods for any sign of a direction to head in. It seemed to me that every tree was hiding someone or something behind it. The corners of my eye were filled with movement, like I was always just missing catching someone darting for cover. I
Ooh, that's
couldn't
scary.
trust my eyes. I couldn't trust my ears. In that burning smell, I couldn't even trust my nose. So I started running, with Devin following me. This sounds like me in any of our individual investigations for Ghost Files.
Yeah, you start to lose it.
I start to see things that maybe aren't there unless they're caught on camera.
That's what we call the vision.
Or we call it a ghost, because sometimes we catch it on camera. But I do start to feel like my eyes play tricks on me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a classic case of the forest crazies.
That's right. I ran as hard as I could for as long as I could, trying to ignore the growing whispers in my ears. Not again, the woman's voice said. Not ever again. How is she doing that? I guess she's a forest witch.
She's a
so
witch,
she's
yep.
like, whispering.
Scary
"It'd be funnier
magic
if she
witch ghost.
said things that were non-threatening. You know, like, yo quiero Taco Bell." Are you hearing that voice? I yelled over my shoulder as the sun set behind the trees. But Devin was gone.
Can say he's
If
gonna
he'd
be
fallen, he would have
missing.
yelled. Same if he needed a break or thought he saw something.
He just got yoinked.
How long had I been sprinting alone? Sounds like Devin needs to work on his cardio. I could outrun you in the woods, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
You got little legs.
Yeah, but they
got
go
little
pretty
tiny
fast.
baby
They go
legs.
pretty fast.
Not fast enough.
And your long legs lumber.
Gerbils go
You're
pretty
more like
fast,
you're
too.
more like a lumberer.
Yeah, you're a little tiny baby.
And I feel like I could.
You're a little baby.
I
You
got
baby
more
legs.
cardio.
You got
than
baby
you.
legs.
I think I got more cardio
I bound
than you.
like the BFG.
Devin, I shouted and listened for a reply, but I knew I wouldn't hear anything. It seems this forest only lets me hear what it wants me to hear. I looked around the woods. It felt like the whole forest was churning with activity, as if I was trying to make out a school of sharks through choppy water. I sensed a threat, but I couldn't see it. What would I do even if I could? I picked a direction and started trudging through the trees. At some point, I turned my phone's flashlight on to fight against the dusk. At least the thing could still do that without any service. After what felt like hours, suddenly the trees thinned out and I stumbled onto a road. Relief flooded my body. I was out of Hackett Woods. I could find the car. I could get help.
I don't trust it. Never trust a road. You know that this is a classic like third act, you know, where it seems like you found salvation.
At least on a road, there's no tree cover to hide things.
That's true.
Yeah.
A witch on a road, less scary than a witch in the woods.
Then
And you at least have
I
direction.
saw her, the woman, no longer hiding, standing in the middle of the road.
Yikes.
I was wrong.
That's pretty scary
That's
still.
scary.
I still
Yeah.
think that's pretty scary.
Never mind.
I was about to say, it's not as creepy as her hiding, but her just standing, like,
Yeah, that's a bold move.
holding Jason's jawbone.
Yeah.
Gaunt, ash white, and horrible black eyes. I turned and took off running down the road, no idea what direction I was heading. I kept looking back, and it seemed the woman was always the same distance behind me. She wasn't running. Always she was just standing there.
Oh, wow.
But always only 50 feet away. It's
Wow.
like the classic boogeyman. Like, they're walking slow, but they somehow keep up with people
Yep.
that are sprinting. Like Jason or Michael Myers aren't fast.
No.
After
They
a
are
few
supernatural
minutes, I spotted
beings.
it, the sign for the town 27 miles away, the one we'd parked behind. I dove for the driver's handle, only to realize Devin had the keys.
Fuck.
I crouched behind the car, and here I am now. If anyone finds this, I am not having fun. I'm sitting
It's
by
almost
the
like
road, waiting for a
ghouls
car, a truck,
know that, like, they
anything to
smell
come
the
by.
keys.
I'm too afraid to look over
They're
the car
directed
and
towards
see if
people
the woman is there, but I'm sure she
who have
is.
keys.
The whole time I've been crouched here, her whispers have felt only inches away. Not again. Not ever again.
So, are you scared?
That's pretty scary.
Well, that's a scary one. That's a scary one, folks. Be careful out there in the woods. You never know what you're gonna run into.
I think the lesson here is don't ever meet up with people on the internet, especially if it's on a subreddit
Yeah.
about the woods. Recommend not taking a solo pee, by the way, if that's an option.
Always go with a pee pal.
Pee pals for life.
You and me.
That's right. Okay, so that story was inspired by the video game The Quarry.
The Quarry.
Which you can actually play. It actually has over 180 different endings based on the choices you
Yeah,
make
which
in
is
the game.
wild.
So perhaps you folks out there can make better choices than
Which
these.
all 180, I was realizing, all 180 can't be like that. Like, there has to be a ton where, like, people just die, and that's kind of it, which is still really cool. But, like, 180 fully fleshed out endings would be, I don't think would be possible. But still, though, like, 180, that's fucked. No one's playthrough most likely is going to be the exact same. But boys, we got a scary comp, and then we're gonna have to call it for the day.
When she captures something creepy on camera.
So just CALEE free
But
speed
this
run.
isn't the first time Sammy has caught something unusual.
This is how you
While
speed
being
run a
at
CALEE
work,
free stream right
Sammy
here.
goes inside a room and captures this.
You watch Are You Scared, and you go to Bizarre Bub, and you're good to go. That's CALEE free stream right there. Maybe play an indie game, maybe shove an indie game in there at the end.
If you listen closely, you can hear what sounds like someone crying. It's faint, but it's there.
I didn't hear it.
But then a few days later, Sammy once again encounters something pretty creepy.
The sounds don't seem real. They seem edited.
Naturally, Sammy was spooked. But the most unsettling incident has to be the one that recently happened inside her home. Sammy is by herself when the following happens.
Seriously?
Hmm. I do hear that.
Just like the video before, something is banging on the door until it stops when Sammy opens it. And like before, nothing is there. But the strangest part about this video isn't this. Upon opening the pantry door, if you listen closely, you can hear what sounds like someone whispering for help.
Get a little Swiss miss.
Viewers can't help but think that Sammy had brought something home from work, which is now making itself known.
Also, those
But, of
cereal
course,
things
this is
help
just
the
a theory.
cereal last longer.
As always,
How
what do
exciting
you
is
think?
that, you know? Keeps cereal from
Fernando
stealing on
Victor
you.
works at a train station. What he does there specifically is unknown. But regardless of what he does, Fernando always seems to have late night shifts. However, it was during one of these late night shifts when Fernando captures something terrifying on camera. Fernando and two other workers are walking beside a train that isn't in motion when all of a sudden he captures this without even noticing.
Holy fucking God. That is fucked. Wow. I hate that. Like, I hate that so much, it's crazy.
Someone or something appears to be looking down on Fernando as he records. What do you think this might have been? The ghost of someone who was involved in a railroad accident or something else? Ellen Melbergstad is on her way to a doctor's appointment and is taking a shortcut through a park to get there. The video takes place in Sweden during the winter time, so it's mostly dark during the day. As she's on her way to the hospital,
Interesting.
Ellen takes out her phone and starts recording. But little does she know that she's about to capture something downright creepy. Check this out.
Murder den här veckan och jag undrar vad han kommer ställa för diagnos på mig. Och alltså, det är så jävla
Oh, I hate that. Hate that.
It was only after viewers had pointed this out that Ellen had noticed it.
Wow.
There appears to be some sort of figure peeking at Ellen from behind a
With
tree.
like long hair.
It's unclear as to who or what this might
Like
have been.
gray face
but
and long
viewers
hair.
think that this could have been a ghost. Whatever it might have been, Ellen has most likely been taking a different route ever since capturing this. Ryan Hulse writes, "So I was just sitting at home alone, the parents were out, and I kept hearing the weird sounds again. But this time I decided to record for a change, and this is what I caught. Really creepy."
What the f? This is what I mean. Crazy shit. Is it like heaven? Hello?
Is that someone standing there?
Oh my god. The light on.
Or is it just the lights? Oh, it's not someone standing there. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my. Oh.
What the fuck was that?
phone's upstairs. Oh my. I'm leaving lights on. I swear to I seen something. Right. Right. I need to go upstairs my phone.
Perhaps this might have been a stranger who broke in. Intruder or ghost, it's unknown as to who or what was inside Ryan's house.
Interesting. That one's no fun.
Ghost hunter Dedo Mikol is outside, standing a few feet away from an abandoned building he's about to explore, when all of a sudden, he sees this.
뭐야? 누구세요? 누구? 저기요. 뭐야, 어디로 사라진 거야? 잠깐만.
Just like disappeared.
혹시 누구 계십니까?
Although spooky enough to scare anyone away, Dedo Mikol proceeds to go inside the building. He climbs through a window, but before he's able to get inside, he sees this.
She's stuck in the window.
와, 씨, 뭐 어떻게 가는 수도 있지.
Something sprint by the door.
Could this have been the same entity he saw earlier, or is it something else? Jimmy Jimenez is an urban explorer. On his Facebook page, he has a couple of videos of places he's explored. But there's one video in particular that has caught the attention of Pedro A., the person who suggested this video. In it, Jimmy enters the premises of an abandoned home. Everything appears to be normal until later on when something really creepy happens. Pay very close attention or you'll miss it. Here's Jimmy entering the home once again and seeing a doll on a chair. Now here's Jimmy leaving the place, but this time, that same doll from earlier is now in a different position.
That's crazy. That's actually wild.
If no one had moved the doll, then who did?
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
A group of paranormal investigators known as paranormies visit an abandoned farmhouse that is said to be haunted. A member of the group sets up a table and performs a type of seance known as table tipping, which is similar to using a Ouija board as it's used to communicate with the dead. However, as they're setting up the camera to record the seance, this happens.
Set up a camera in that corner there, and I want to set up a camera either in this corner or... Stop.
What the
Dude, what was that?
Where should we go, dude? I want to get out of here for a minute, dude. I don't want to go
upstairs.
over there. Grab that light.
Holy shit.
Oh man, my heart's beating.
Maybe a Ouija board would have been a better choice.
That's wild.
Ricardo Morones is someone who
Yeah.
I talked about previously.
Yep.
It appears that there's something in his house. Ricardo has no idea as to what it might be, but ever since the following incidents that have taken place inside his home, he can't help but think that he might be dealing with something beyond explanation. One night, before drifting off to sleep, Ricardo captures this.
Pues ya me acomodé y todo.
Something peek over
Ya
him.
quiero dormir, ya tengo sueño. Pero tiene la luz del pasillo prendida y mi mamá está escuchando un video, güey.
Something just...
There appears to be a
Yep.
face peeking at Ricardo.
Jesus, dude. Hate that.
The face went unnoticed until a viewer of the video had pointed it out. But the creepiest incident has to be the following. Ricardo is recording his TV when he captures something that goes unnoticed.
Ugh.
Outside of Ricardo's window, there appears to be someone looking into his room.
Yikes, dude.
Viewers believe that this might be the same entity that's been haunting Ricardo ever since the first incident.
Ricardo.
As with most videos on the paranormal, this one remains a mystery.
Ricardo,
Thanks for watching,
baby.
and I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you,
Until
Bizarre
next
Bub.
time.
Well, guys, hey. Super short stream. I know. But hey. Something about Fridays. Friday mornings, my Mondays. Those ones usually seem to be a bit on the shorter side. Just because I either can't wake up or my timing's all effed up. But hey, that's all right. We all need little chill days every now and then, you know? Little chill short ones. Short ones for the short ones, you know? But thank you to anybody who watched the VOD. Thank you to everybody who stopped by. New clip getting posted today. Yeah. That's all she wrote, boys. I gotta go shower and go to work. I hope you guys have a great Friday leading into your weekend. And as always, I'll see you boys tomorrow. Bye-bye.